Good morning. Welcome to Herd Immunity. I'm Dr. Ruddy. Wisdom is your best defense. I would like to discuss with you this morning a scientific paper. Now you may think, wait a second, are we ready for a discussion of a scientific paper? I promise I'll make it simple. The paper was published in Nature Medicine in December 2015. Just to let you know, Nature Medicine is a very prestigious journal. Everyone knows that the Journal of the American Medical Association and the New England Journal of Medicine are very prestigious, but I got to tell you, Nature Medicine, they really are leading the pack. So here we have a paper published in Nature Medicine, so it was peer-reviewed, scrutinized. It usually takes a good year to pass muster to get published in a journal like Nature Medicine. The title of the article is SARS-like Cluster of Circulating Bat Coronavirus Pose Threat for Human Emergence. That's a mouthful. Let's see what they have to say. I'm going to put a link to this paper below, and I'm going to invite you to spend 20 seconds looking at the names of the institutions that collaborated on this study. Very important. It was broad and deep and well funded. And then on the last page of the paper under acknowledgments, you'll be able to read and identify where those funds came from. So what was the point of looking at the potential threat for the emergence of a SARS coronavirus, a bat SARS coronavirus emerging into the human population? In the abstract, which is the summary, very short summary of the paper. So for those people who just want to get through the world's literature very quickly because you have 1,000 pages of material coming out every day, you want to just look at the abstract. It's a summary of what they did and why. And the authors say, interesting in the abstract, that having constructed their SARS coronavirus, because that was the objective of this project, was to create a SARS coronavirus, they said both monoclonal antibody and vaccine approaches failed to neutralize and protect from coronavirus utilizing the novel spike protein. What they were doing was creating a coronavirus with a novel spike protein, and they admitted that the monoclonal antibodies and the vaccines on hand were ineffective. They say in the introduction, we built, this is what we did, folks. Come into the backyard, we'll show it to you now. We built a chimeric, which means mixed species, virus that encodes a novel zoonotic animal spike protein. We built a chimeric virus that encodes a novel zoonotic spike protein. Congratulations. We can't thank you enough. What else? They admit early on in the paper that previously vaccine failure against the original SARS and against MERS, many attempts were made to make vaccines against SARS and MERS. They all crashed and burned very early on. Previously, vaccine failure and augmented immune pathology. I spoke about that, the enhanced antibody-dependent enhancement. I spoke about that in a previous video. Vaccine failure and augmented, which means increased, augmented immune pathology, the increased pathologic consequences in aged animals indicated a possibility for harm due to vaccination. That had been proven with the vaccine studies conducted with SARS, the original SARS, and with MERS. And so they knew early on that they might be getting into rather dangerous territory here, creating their novel spike protein. Okay, so then they admit, interesting, that the coronaviruses are limited and host range mutation, which means the animals in which the SARS virus exist, for instance bats, the extent of mutation of this virus in these animals, the coronaviruses are limited and the host range mutations are both random and rare, reducing the likelihood of future emergence events in humans. Okay, random, rare, not likely to emerge and have an impact on humans, but we're going after it anyway, so strap yourselves in. They justify this by saying the potential to prepare and mitigate future outbreaks, they're referring to a coronavirus outbreak, must be weighed against the risk of creating more dangerous pathogens. You bet. Yes, they must be weighed. And I'll talk to you tomorrow about a paper from Harvard that told them, don't even weigh it, just don't do it. You will see under online methods that fetal clone serum made by High Clone in South Logan, Utah, was a necessary critical ingredient in the construction and preparation of this novel coronavirus with its pathogenic spike protein. Let's see what else we have here. So on and on and on. Yep, they did it. They're telling you all about it. Under the heading Biosafety and Biosecurity, they come out very definitively and say these studies were initiated prior to the U.S. government deliberative process research funding pause on selected gain-of-function research involving influenza, MERS, and SARS viruses. That's a mouthful. The federal government put a pause on this kind of research. However, it was fully underway, and they're going to make sure you know that they were at this before the pause was applied. And then they go on to say, in case you have any questions, continuation of these studies have been requested and approved by the NIH. On the last page, under acknowledgments, you will find the sources of funding for this study. It was deep and broad. The collaboration was deep and broad. And the objective seems to have been achieved. Sorry to say. Yeah. Remember, the two best medicines are love and mercy. Until I see you again, God bless.